practical, thoughtful, and on point. Together, they deliver fair and balanced analysis from an insider's perspective with real conversations where the callers, the listeners, and the online maniacs get in on the action by sharing their thoughts, their comment, and their reaction. Join our online maniacs at facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. You're listening to Tide 100.9 and 1230 WTBC. It's time for kickoff. So buckle up and get ready, because this is the sound of Bama Sports. The Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon is live. Roll Tide, roll!
Roll Tide, roll. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is time for, we're just going to call this a toss-up Tuesday. We have topics all over the place we can get to, and we're going to get right into it. As we tell you all the time, it is the fastest hour in sports talk radio, but it's also the best hour. Let's just be real. All right. Hold on. Oh man, I think I threw my shoulder out, pat myself on the back, but that's all right. All right. It won't be the first shoulder injury I had. It won't be the last. All right. Good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing good.
Good morning.
Yeah, we're doing well. Hey, listen, we had a knockout conversation yesterday in regards to this Bediako inspired craziness. But Bediako is not the story. They just using Alabama to, I think, to make it a national story. Because if this doesn't tell you that Alabama is legitimately the most influential, dominant university in college sports, nothing will. Think about the fact that all over the country, guys were coming back. Right? Coming back. Nothing. Nobody complained. Nobody complained about a first-round draft pick playing 150 games, 3 years, and coming back. But they going crazy because a guy came and played 2 years, left and wanted to come play one more semester. What nobody's talking about is in 3 years, the kid at Baylor is going to be a year older than Bediako is today. And he's going to still have eligibility left. This is it for Bediako. No matter what, Bediako is getting in his 5th year of eligibility within the window. And the only reason they say he can't is because he signed a 2-way contract but never played. But that's not the story. The story is they're going to use Alabama guys to get national attention and maybe force somebody to do the hand. Now, what I think they're going to do is end up costing themselves their own organization and association. If I wasn't on the NCAA and worked for them, I might be looking for another job. I might be looking around. I might be searching, because I think that's what's going to happen. Is this? There's no way you put lipstick on a pig, as they say. But there's other things that I want us to talk about, because we talked a little bit about wait till the NFL comes and gets involved. Amateurism is at stake.
Yeah.
The only thing left for somebody not to be an amateur now is undoubtedly signing an NBA contract, because all the other sports and leagues don't count. Hey, isn't Canadian football an international sport? Yeah.
I would assume so.
Yes. So who's to say somebody from the Canadian League isn't coming back to college? What if I didn't go to college and I went straight to the CFL? What if I didn't go to college and I went to the UFL?
Yeah.
I mean, but watch this. If they can't stop a guy from signing a contract for coming back, how are they going to keep somebody from going early in the draft? What makes the 3-year rule enforceable? If the league, if the NFL, if the NBA, if Major League Baseball all of a sudden say you can come play for us out of high school after 1 year, after 2 years, who's going to be the first guy? Could it even happen this year, guys? Could Jeremiah Smith write a petition to put his name in the draft? If the NFL, if he could get the NFL to say yes, who's going to stop it? Remember, I just teed that up for y'all. We're going to talk about Coach Clem. We're going to talk about Bama Hoops. We're going to talk about all this stuff. But I want y'all to tell me, are we going to see anybody challenge this 3-year rule? Because remember, if anything is antitrust, it's the fact that you make me have to stay in your employment or in school for 3 years when I could be the number 1 overall pick after my freshman year or after my sophomore year. Will they challenge it? If I'm thinking this way, you know there's some attorneys out there bending his parents' ear. Remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Guys, is Jeremiah Smith going to try it? Or is the next Jeremiah Smith going to try it? Oh, okay. If Jeremiah doesn't try it because he missed the deadline, will Tony, if Tony repeats his freshman year, will next January, will he put his name in the draft? And what's going to be, would Arch Manning be coming out this year? No, Arch is a 3-year guy, isn't he?
Yeah, Arch is already eligible.
He could have came out, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we forget Arch.
But
Go ahead.
But say Keelan Russell ends up being Alabama's starting quarterback in 2026, and he goes on to have a Heisman-esque season. Not saying he wins it, but he's in New York at the end of the year. Say Xavier Crowell becomes the starting running back this year, even as a 17-year-old runs for 1,400 yards. Why not?
I'm thinking more of if they have only one more year, because these guys that you're talking about are leaving as 3-year guys. I'm assuming. Wouldn't one of those Miami, Texas's like offer them probably if they were thinking about going to the NFL instead? I'm assuming like Texas, the Miamis would offer one of those guys probably $8 million. I mean, just that's a crazy number.
Yeah,
but
they might offer him $8 million. I mean,
just for a 1-year rental.
Yeah, for 1 year, that is a very big possibility. But once again, people still are calling Dante Moore crazy for going back to Oregon for $7.5 million as a 1-year rental. I think he's crazy because next year's draft quarterback is better than this year's.
He would have been the number. He might have overtaken Fernando as
right,
QB1 in the draft.
But guess what? Guess what? That's a 1-year deal. What happens? And I pray to God he stays healthy. What happens if Dante Moore tears his ACL during the season? That 1-year rental for 7.5 is great, but did he just cost himself 20?
Let me tell you
very well.
Let me tell you, if I'm his agent, and Dante probably has a legit agent, Dante probably has a guy. He probably has a guy from the pros. But the thing about Dante is Dante would have been the first or second quarterback taken this year because the quarterback class isn't that great. I'm not sold that Fernando is going to deal it in NFL. I think his smarts made him an elite college quarterback. I think the RPO game made him an elite quarterback. I don't know if the RPO game, you take the RPO game away, I don't know how elite he is I think he was just smarter than everybody he played against. So,
and they don't run RPOs in the pros.
That's right. So somebody's going to have to adjust their offense for him. Number two is, I think he was a system guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why you saw him jump from. Everybody talk about he wasn't that elite quarterback at California. This wasn't like this is a so something meshed. What and I know people y'all gonna mess with me, but was it the perfect fit between two guys on kind of
spectrum riding?
Right. Like was that the perfect match in how they approach the game? Because you look at the way I think you have to coach him a certain way to maximize him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and will that translate to the? I don't know. Dante Moore, he gives you a lot more options for you. You know how they talk about a guy with the big wingspan can make a quarterback look a lot more accurate than he is. Because he has a wingspan and his catch radius is all over the board, so the quarterback doesn't have to be perfect. I think Dante Moore gives an offensive coordinator more options. But if he's my guy, he has a Lords of London deal that if he goes down, he's going to make what his rookie contract would have guaranteed him. Or maybe more. In other words, he'll get his 7.5 from Oregon, plus he probably has a $20 million Lords of London deal that he can afford to pay for. It's not that big a deal. He pays $1 million to guarantee $20 million. So I think that's the only thing that makes sense for him.
No, that you're right. That is the only thing that makes sense. But to me,
I wouldn't have came back.
No, that football, basketball guys coming back. LeBaron Fallon is wearing an Alabama Crimson jersey, jersey this year because of NIL, and I don't believe anything else. You know, he can come out and say something that it was NIL that got him back because he would have been drafted last year. Football is a different ball game when it comes to it. The injury risk are higher. Guys popping up that are juniors and seniors that have another year to improve. I just wouldn't risk it.
Is not back if he's a lottery pick. I don't care how much money they offered him. If Fallon had been a top 10 pick, Fallon's not back.
Yeah, they
right,
like
a top 10 pick, but that's the equivalent of Dante Moore being
that's
the
my
number.
Point is you're saying he's back because of NIL. No, he's back because he wasn't. If he was guaranteed what Dante Moore was gonna get, he's gone.
Yeah, he's probably gone. But he was a first round. He was a lock for first round, which is a guaranteed contract.
Right, but not the money he's. Fallon stays healthy the rest of the year. He made the right move.
Right.
Simeon, what were you about to say?
No, I was just saying that I was agreeing with your point that if Fallon, continues to go on the path that he's on, he's leading the SEC in scoring, and so he'll be a top 10 pick in this draft for sure.
Yeah. He's made some duckies, as they say. He's made some money. So, but I still want to guys coming back on the other side. Just tell me who's going to challenge the 2-year. I think it's happening. I don't know if it's probably not going to happen this year, like Heavy Hitter said. But you can't tell me that the NCAA, everything that they have, I can't wait till they try to cut some guy or tell some guy they're not going to renew his scholarship. And then they're going to take him to court and say, so you brought me here to a 4-year school and you're renewing me in my contract every year? I think that's wrong. I'm telling you, that's coming next. The first time some guy gets brought in and refuse to leave, going to show up at practice. What they going to do? What they going to do? They tell you got to leave and you don't want to leave Alabama. Yeah. The NCAA is what they call it, lame duck walking. They have no power, and it's going to be some craziness unless somebody gets involved. We'll come back on the other side. We'll start talking a little football. We'll talk about this O-line on this toss-up Thursday. You listen to the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon, and we're powered by Box Eye Care.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good Thursday morning to you. We are heading out into quiet territory. It's wide open on Lurleen Wallace as you travel in both directions in between 15th and McFarland. Also, long stretch of happiness on 2059 right now. Not seeing any delays whatsoever or mishaps in between University and Joe Malisham. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Don't let data limits hold you back from being the gift master in the family group chat. Switch to Straight Talk Wireless and get real unlimited data on Verizon's 5G network. Straight Talk, available at straighttalk.com or Walmart.
Got timberland in West Alabama or East Mississippi? North River Timber Company has you covered. Since 2011, Courtney White, a registered forester, along with his expert team, have been managing timberland and harvesting timber across 4 West Alabama counties. They offer comprehensive timber management plans, reforestation services, and appraisals. Courtney White says timber is like money in the bank. Don't let your investment go unrealized. Call North River Timber Company today. Email them at northrivertimberco@gmail.com or call 205-242-5127.
Under the biggest cactus in town, Taco Casa. Quality is number one. You got to start with a good quality product, but it's got to be at a good value to the customers.
Everything is about quality.
You just can't beat the quality, taste, and value.
And it's because we take pride in providing you with the best.
Good customer service and good food, good quality.
We want to make sure that we give that to them each and every time they come and visit us. The sense of pride that we have in the quality, the consistency of our food carries over to everything we do in the stores. That's Taco Casa.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The sky partially sunny today, the high at 48. Tonight increasingly cloudy with the low at 29. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, the chance of a few sprinkles, the high 45. Windy and much colder Saturday, the chance of a snow shower during the day, the high 27. I'm James Spann with the Alabama Weather Network on Tide 100.9. It's 26 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Something's going to have to be done Will it be done because of the Bediako story? I don't know. But let's trend. You guys got anybody going to challenge that rule? Probably too late this year, but it's definitely some guys in the works. Actually, you mentioned Keelan Russell probably, but Tony is like, to me, Tony is like the most logical next guy if he repeats his freshman year.
Yeah, I mean, when you really look at guys that played this past year, you look at Malachi Tony, you look at I would say the quarterback, Drew Messmaker, that was at North Texas, is going to Oklahoma State, but it's such a deep quarterback class. He probably would wait. When you look at Moore, Manning, Say, and all the other guys that are eligible in the 2027 class, I can't really think of too many freshmen from this. Maybe Michael Carroll. Michael Carroll is a guy that, especially I think if he kicks inside, I think he's even more dominant. And who knows, he might be the first guy. That's an option. But trying to think of freshmen from this past season that stood out makes you go. But I think it'd be even more interesting for the 2028 draft when you look at the 2026 freshmen, because I think there's a lot of guys in this year's recruiting class that have a chance of being an impact. Chris Henry Jr., who's going to Ohio State, if he comes out and he's another Jeremiah Smith over the next 2 years, who knows what he does?
I would have seen Xavier Brown probably would have left after this year if he could. I mean, if he could have, because the jump he took from last year to this past season, he probably would have jumped at the draft.
Watch this. Xavier Brown, first rounder.
Dejoun Lee, if he makes a jump.
Could be a guy. Watch this. Jeremiah Smith will be the first pick in the draft.
Jeremiah Smith would have been the first wide receiver taken last year.
He would have been the first player taken last year. That's what I'm saying. This is. I'm not talking about just guys that's just going in the draft and getting drafted. Jeremiah Smith is coming back into college, and he would be the first. He'd be the first pick. And y'all know what? I said football, but basketball is going to have it. If I'm a senior in high school right now, basketball, you think one of them is not going to try that?
I could definitely see Tyron Stokes, the number one player in the country, trying it.
I would not be bold prediction right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier Simeon. A basketball player challenges the "I have to go to college" rule this year.
Why? Because they've let him do it in the past.
Watch this though. But watch this. If he doesn't get drafted, what's going to happen?
He's just going to go to college somewhere.
He just comes back and go to college. Because if they don't draft him, or the NCAA can't do anything to him.
Yeah.
So if the NBA decides to draft him, he's gone.
Yeah.
And if he and check this, he enters his name in the draft. He doesn't go where he wants to go.
He just comes back.
Oh well.
He doesn't sign a contract, and he's playing basketball somewhere.
He's playing with whatever his school is.
Yeah.
What's the difference? So they done pooped in their pants with this one.
Yeah, but I think that's a good segue for talking basketball. High school recruiting. Alabama did land a 5-star wing in Quaden Samuels. 6'6", 210 pounds. He's number 18 player in the country, and Nate Oates is doing his thing on the recruiting trail in that aspect. When we talk about his second commit of the class, joining Terrace Bowie, a forward. So he's got 2 guys in his class, and he's still going after 5 guys. Caleb Holt, which I really think we're going to be able to land him. He's a guard. who's originally from the state of Alabama, from Huntsville. So another 5-star. He's a top 5 player in this class. So he might be a guy to watch out for, potentially trying to enter the draft as well. So Nato's still doing his thing on the recruiting trail.
Yeah, I mean, I love what NATO has turned Alabama basketball into because, I mean, I remember the Anthony Grant and Avery Johnson era where you were just glad to have a close game with the top team. And just turning Alabama into a powerhouse to where even NBA jobs are talking about, ooh, this is who we want to get in the NBA, and it's Nate Oates as their head coach. And so it's cool to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get to Pat, but before I get to Pat, let me address Cedric Peterson said it's an NBA rule to go to college for one season. Yeah, but they put that rule in because the NCAA and colleges were complaining. And so they did that to appease the NCAA and college. But if all of a sudden, now think, we haven't even talked about this angle. Be patient, Pat. We haven't even talked about this angle, guys. How do you think the NCAA feels? I mean, the NBA feels about the stupidity of what the NCAA did. They're not happy. They used a draft pick on a guy that they knew was in their program. If it took them 1 year, 2 years, 4 years to get to that league, at least that was a roster spot that they didn't waste money on. Now, who drafted the kid from Baylor? You remember
the Hornets, I think?
Huh?
Hey,
I think
that
it was
sounds
the Hornets,
right.
But
so 3 years they've invested in him getting good enough to come up to the pro. Now he's back in college, and now he can go somewhere else. So they lost that player.
Pistons.
Huh?
Pistons.
So the Pistons had him. They've invested in that. So now they're going to be like, hey, we were trying to help you guys out to help make college sports a little more competitive and stop kids from going straight through. The NBA doesn't want to bypass, like the kid from Aments from Tennessee that did us the other day.
Yeah.
The NBA don't want him in college. They want him on their rookie roster.
Yeah.
Right.
They did that for the league. And here's the thing. Can that rule stand up? Here's the thing. A job can say, you have to have a degree to get this job, right? A regular employer. They can put that in there. But if it was a top talented person that was obviously with the skill set to do the job, what can that company do? Waive that requirement.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. The NBA is a league in and of itself. And thanks to the NCAA, they've said it's different than all other pro leagues. And if the NBA doesn't argue that point and say, hey, we're just like everybody else, they now have put themselves where they can now be sued for antitrust. If they're viewed as the only professional league on a level by themselves, above and separate from everybody else, then you have the ability to say they're implementing antitrust rules and they're limiting my opportunity to make a living. And I guarantee you, if Aments had put his name in the draft, he probably could have got – last year it wouldn't have been. But this year, I think – like I said, I don't know if it will happen or not. And I know it was an NBA rule, guys, but I think the NBA was doing that to appease college, not themselves.
Right. They've said – and let's be real. These guys that know they're going to go get drafted in the first round, especially these lottery pick guys, you think they're going to class the second semester of their freshman years? I'm not being fun. You think AJ DiBenassi or Peterson from Kansas or these guys are going to class right now? They did what it took to be eligible this semester, their first semester. These guys aren't going to class. These First round locks aren't.
They're student athletes, Xavier. Of
Okay.
course they're going to class,
Sure.
man.
Of course. My bad. I misspoke. These guys do not go to class. And guess what, Bama fans? There's evidence that some of these guys that have been top draft picks at Alabama that didn't go to class their second semester.
Oh.
And you know their names.
I think it happens everywhere.
It definitely happens everywhere, but we ain't no different.
Yeah, we're not any different. We're not any different. All right, we'll come back on the other side. We'll get Pat's comments on the recruiting. We need to get back on schedule. We'll get Pat's thoughts on recruiting. We're going to talk about, what's that coach's name?
Adrian Clem.
Adrian Clem. He's going to be the topic of conversation on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good Thursday morning to you. We are heading out into quiet territory. It's wide open on Merlene Wallace as you travel in both directions in between 15th and McFarland. Also, long stretch of happiness on 2059 right now. Not seeing any delays whatsoever or mishaps in between University and Joe Malisham. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
Chow's Country Buffet in Tuscaloosa, where country favorites meet an Asian twist. Enjoy all-you-can-eat whole fried catfish, pot roast, fried chicken, and more served all day, plus crab claws every night for dinner. From seafood to country classics to Chinese favorites, you'll leave full and satisfied every time, all for one simple price. Want it to go? They've got takeout too. Call 205-399-2024 or visit Chow's Country Buffet in Tuscaloosa, because filling your stomach shouldn't empty your wallet.
Where they do that at? If you're looking for that ultimate experience in electronic bingo, head to Bama Entertainment. We've expanded at our location, now with 2 buildings, not just one. Come for our mystery wall cash drawing Monday through Thursday, every 30 minutes. On the weekend, live entertainment or DJ. Ticket drawing for the jackpot wheel spins and cash giveaway. Don't forget about our double jackpot payout up to $5,000. Great atmosphere, outstanding customer service. Where they do that at? Bama Entertainment, where the odds are always in your favor. Take exit 45 off 2059, sponsored by Red.
The legendary Smokey Robinson Legacy of Love Tour. Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center, Saturday, March 14th. A night featuring Smokey's unforgettable hits. Tickets on sale now at pearlriverresort.com. Don't miss the one and only Smokey Robinson live.
Hey, this is Richard Adams with Adams Heating and Cooling. The air your family breathes passes through your home's duct system multiple times per day. Corroded, leaking, or dirty ductwork wastes energy as well as diminished comfort and degrades indoor air quality. It's a threat to both your health and your budget, which is exactly why you should call your local experts at Adams Heating and Cooling for a complete range of duct services. Our trained and qualified professionals will inspect and verify the condition of your duct system. Call us 205-339-6540 or visit us at adamsheatingandcoolinginc.com.
It's a $99 pre-owned event at Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa. All makes, all models, all just $99 down. $99. Acres of the hottest pre-owned cars, tons of trucks, and a huge selection of SUVs. Many still have the factory warranty. And best of all, many are under 20 grand during the $99 pre-owned event at Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa. All our pre-owned vehicles are fully reconditioned. If it's on our lot, it's passed a 100-point inspection, and we stand behind every vehicle we sell. Need credit? We have local banks and credit unions ready to lend. It's a $99 pre-owned event. All makes, all models, all just $99 down. $99 now at Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa. Mercedes-of-Tuscaloosa.com. Mercedes-of-Tuscaloosa.com. Example 25 Ford Escape 32.8, 99 down, $575 a month, 60 months, 6% APR plus tax tag title to qualified buyers.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier and Simeon on this Thursday edition. We've got Pat joining us on the hotlines. How you doing this morning, Pat?
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, y'all just recently mentioned about these guys there, and you said they didn't go to class, and Martin said they did. I'm sure they go into class so that they can learn how to keep their money. If they're not, and it's not smart. Come on,
Martin was being sarcastic.
I know. That's the problem. I know. That's the issue. That these kids are not learning how to get finances and stuff to where they need to be in order to keep their money. Bless their heart. It just hurts me that people can be handed life on a silver platter and they don't know how to accept it. It's what's so sad.
I'm gonna disagree with silver platter. I'm gonna disagree with silver platter.
Okay.
Because they did some work.
Well, hey, yeah, they're working hard. Hey, I mean, they working hard, toning their body to get there. I agree. What I'm saying is,
when I walked in on that first play at Alabama, if someone had gave me some cash money, I wouldn't have felt like I got it on a silver platter because I played with a lot of guys.
Oh, yeah, but you worked hard. Hey,
there was a lot of guys
worked hard
that didn't get there, and so, but they are being handed a lot of money, Pat. And unfortunately, high school don't teach it, and college doesn't teach financial wellness, Pat. And I don't know if you know that one of the other things that I have since I was let go from my financial institution a year and a half ago, I'm now nationally certified as a certified financial education instructor through the NFEC because of that very reason, to hopefully eventually start working with some athletes, but I already do financial wellness with schools and individuals and work with some companies. But that's a problem, that there are people out there, and it's not, people think it's just people who may not be the smartest, may come from less than. There's wealthy people out there. There's a reason. I don't even know if y'all heard recently, there was a former guy who spent, I forgot how many years in the NFL, Super Bowl, whatever. They found him stabbed to death in a homeless encampment. And nobody's talking about this side of it, Pat. There's going to be a lot of college kids who are going to make a lot of money. Everybody's going to be taking it from them. Everybody's going to be fleecing them. Everybody's going to be having their hands out. And then these guys are going to finish up without an education, without a degree, and not make it to the league. And they have been living on this, $1 million a year salary in the best job they're going to get. And I'm not knocking any jobs, but if they got $100,000 a year job, it's going to be a 40% pay cut. So it's going to be bad. We hadn't got there yet. I think we're about 2 to 3 years away before we start hearing some of these horror stories of these players who've made this money. But it's coming.
And, well, hey, understand the tax man's coming for their butt, too, for the cars and all that stuff.
That's what I'm talking about, all of it.
Hey, I feel vindicated about my quarterback got his 5th star, from up in Nebraska. Yay, Pat. That when we was talking about him at nauseam, and people were saying, "Oh, yeah, quit talking about him," and blah 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 blah. Hey, got his 5th star. Yes, he did. And but guys, what I want to know is there any possibility of picking up a surprise player next week in the regular signing day? I'm hearing that there's potential.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Pat. I thought we were done with the 2026 class before we signed these 2 wide receivers. So who knows? I mean, with this coaching staff, I think there's still a couple of roster spots available. So it could be somebody in the 26 class. It could be from the high school ranks. It could be a JUCO guy. It could be a transfer portal guy. I don't know right now where they're going to go to fill out these last few roster spots.
Simeon?
Yep, that's what I hear is a couple more. And anyway, hey, you guys have a blessed day, Martin Houston. Great show. But that's the problem. They really, really need financial wellness is the most important thing because it's so sad to see. I mean, currently in the league, there's lots and lots of them are broke in the league now. It's what's so sad.
Yep.
And hey, you guys have a blessed day. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Pat. Simeon,
You
your
too,
thoughts
Pat.
on the last couple things Pat said?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely unfortunate to see that a lot of these guys don't have the proper training on their financials because I mean, every part of your life, no matter if you're super wealthy or not as fortunate, you need financial wellness. Financial wellness is needed for all levels of income, and especially when you give someone you know millions of
Millions.
dollars that has never even seen you know 100,000, much less than millions of dollars. It's hard to realize and comprehend how much money that truthfully is.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a scary situation, because at least before a kid had an opportunity, before they got that NFL money or NBA money or Major League Baseball money, many of them had at least got a degree or started toward their degree, and maybe not completely finished it. Now you have, I mean, guys, only reason, part of the reason it drove me in college was to get the degree to take care of my family because that's what they said I had to have. I don't agree. I don't necessarily agree with that philosophy anymore, because I think there's enough jobs and different things out there now, enough different careers and certifications and things you can find jobs to take care of yourself in numerous ways. But some jobs do require degrees. But the problem is now they don't have the motivation to do anything because they get it right out of high school. Like you you've not learned a lot of times. You think of the best players, have they really learned how to be disciplined guys? Or were they just better than everybody? Had they learned? Most guys have not learned how to play football unless they came up in like a football family where there was a dad or a coach or something that taught them. Most
Yeah.
of them coming in, they were always the best kid, the fastest kid, the biggest kid.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they got the money and they don't even know how to work out in a disciplined way. They don't know how to push themselves. So it could be kind of, hey, did Jet Tomlin get the Bama bump, Simeon, since
Yeah,
since Saban gone, are we still getting the Bama bump? I mean, we still
he got the supposed Bama bump, and so did Keelan Russell because when he was committed to SMU, he was a 3-star. Or maybe Alabama just knows how to evaluate talent, and that has carried on from Saban to DeBoer. So who
maybe that's
knows?
it. Maybe that's it.
Here's the difference, and I like Jet, and I think he's really talented. Here's the difference: Keelan jumped across the board.
Yeah,
Every
he's
recruiting
everywhere.
service,
Yeah,
said he was number 1, number 2, worst case number 3 quarterback, but a solid 5-star. I looked at Rivals rankings as a whole, and some of them rankings they got Corey, and I think this is a good
they're a joke.
player.
It's all
Barber, the wide receiver from Clay Chalkville, who is a 4-star committed to Ole Miss and followed Lane Kiffin to LSU, is ranked higher than Chris Henry Jr. as a wide receiver by Rivals.
It's all a
Nowhere
joke.
else has him outside of the 100s or inside of the 100s. He is 100 plus everywhere else.
Yeah.
Rivals is a joke.
All right. Hey, let's go ahead and get Chuck. Chuck, you're in with Xavier and Simeon. What's on your mind?
Good morning to you all. It's great to be back after the ice storm here in my area. Power was restored in my area yesterday. My parents and I got our power back, and it humbled you after a cold inconvenience and with fallen trees and power lines down. But I'm happy to be back and be able to talk to you all. And yeah, I was just chiming in on what you all were just talking about. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of it now. You think about the young man at Brigham Young University, AJ DeBester. He's from Brockton, Massachusetts, but we're having finished high school there in Utah Prep in Hurricane, Utah. He was first McDonald's High School All-American at BYU. You know, BYU now has that you know, they had the NIL money on transfer portal. That's what really helped them. The thing about that, I look at a school like that, you know, not many, they realize they had to do these things because a lot of those players, like, they're not part of that faith. And I truly believe that the best is going to come out. He's going to enter the NBA draft after this season, after one season, and because that young man, he's got all the NIL money. I think it's going. He might, and I believe he's going to go high in that NBA draft. And that person you were just talking about with the Eagles, yeah, I saw that. I remember him. That was Kevin Johnson from the Philadelphia Eagles. They found him at a homeless. It was a homeless camp, and he was stabbed to death. And yeah, I remember him. He was 55 years old. I see.
Yeah, unfortunately, but yeah, and thanks, Chuck. And that's right, Chuck's right, guys. There are guys going to places that they never would have gone to before. And Chuck, Chuck said he's not a Mormon. I said I don't know about that.
He almost came to. It was between BYU and Alabama.
If it hadn't been for NIL,
I think Crumble Cookie upped the.
Is that where that's from?
Yeah, they're the big NIL donor for BYU.
Well, you know, they have some Coke money. They have a lot. There's a lot of wealthy people a part of that faith. So
yeah.
Anyway, hey guys, Adrian Clem. Does it get you hype? Does it get you hype around Bama O-line? Is this a complete reset that they had in from the start? Did Alabama get rid of everybody that they thought would not be able to learn whatever the scheme they're going to be teaching?
I agree that they did. I think they, for the most part, got smaller weight-wise, except outside of Nick Brooks. They got leaner, got quicker, and I think with Adrian Clem coming in, he's been coaching a lot of different he's coached at SMU, Oregon, USC. He's coached for the Patriots, UCLA. I mean, coached for the Patriots and Steelers.
He was recruiter of the year at UCLA, wasn't he?
Right. And so I think it's just a great hire for somebody that has been into the pro game and knows how to, you know, run. He's the run game coordinator for those organizations, but also have that recruiting experience that is so crucial because Coach Cap was a really good recruiter. And so you want to replace him with somebody that is at least close to that same level, if not a better recruiter than him, but also knows and has proven success of limiting sacks. Because I think his last year at Oregon, they only gave up 5 sacks the entire season. And so if Alabama only gave up 5 sacks this past season, Ty Simpson's not hurt. And this team looks totally different than what it did before.
Hey, yeah, was he the run game coordinator for the Patriots when Tom Brady was there? That part of his responsibility, because that would be interesting.
He was after Brady. He played with Brady.
Okay.
He played with Brady. He was a part of the 3 Super Bowls in the he's the same draft class as Brady, actually, and part of the first 3 Super Bowls that they won. But he coached in college until 2019, and then he did a quick stint with the Steelers, and then came back to college with Oregon, back to the Patriots, back down to college, and he's been in college the last couple of years again. But yeah, he's a really, really interesting coach because he has the high level of recruiting. He's another West Coast guy, which kind of seems to be where DeBoer likes to pull from.
Well, that's his network. That's
Yeah,
the network.
yeah. And like I said, nothing wrong with it. He was in Oregon around the same time, and at UCLA and USC all around the same time that DeBoer was coming up through the ranks as well. But no, I think he's a good fit, in the athleticism that Alabama has added along the offensive line is going to mold better with a new face in the room.
Yeah, and let me tell you, the reason I was asking that is I like to have guys who love and know the run game, but have played in pass-heavy offenses, okay,
Mm-hmm.
or coached in pass-heavy offenses. He played with Brady when you knew it was pass first. But if you go back and watch, the Patriots always had a good run game. It wasn't their feature, but they could always run it when they what? Needed to. You go back and look at Oregon. Oregon has been a pass first, but they could run the ball. You go back and look at the places he's been, they have been
pass
first offenses for the most part. And
No,
yet
I think everywhere he's been at the college level, SMU, UCLA, Oregon, USC have been pass first, but have had really, really good run games to complement off of it.
And that's the point I was trying to point out with him and what he does, what he brings to the table is understanding that Alabama guys, and we'll pick Coach Clem up, and we'll pick up the other ones. I want to talk to you guys. One of the things we hadn't really talked about, we blamed a lot of it on the running backs last year and saying they weren't talented. I wonder if anybody has a stat, yards or hits before the line of scrimmage, because Alabama, a lot of our run plays, we didn't even get to the line of scrimmage before we got hit,
or had to make a move.
Like we were dodging people in the backfield. I just hope that somebody shows the Indiana running backs. I know they were grown men, but I hope they show them. People get tired of hitting you when you run the way those boys did. I mean, they were violent. And that's what I'm hoping that he can get some of that with the O-line firing off and with that in the backfield. Both of y'all take about 30 seconds and close it out.
Yeah,
No.
Go ahead, Sam.
No, I mean, I think this upcoming season is make or break for the future of DeBoer and his tenure at Alabama. I think with these, you want to go out with your guys. And I think DeBoer has gotten his guys, his players, and I'm looking forward to see how he gels them all together.
Very limited guys still remaining from Saban's tenure here, and mostly that's due to the portal. But, hey, DeBoer's got his guys. He's got new faces in. He's making changes, which is the point that we were hoping he would do. New O-line coach, new changes to the O-line. Let's see how that all works out in the long run for Bama heading into the 2026 season. I think it's going to be fun.
Is he finished making his changes? Is he finished recruiting? We'll talk about that. I think there still needs to be at least one more change. I'll tell you what that is tomorrow. I also think that they're going to add at least one more coach, maybe two. Even if there's not a change, I think there's a couple guys coming. Also, we'll look inside that offensive line. As a group, do we feel that we're more talented than we were last year, even though we may be younger? And can we translate that into SEC level championship, national championship level play? Well, he added a piece to help us get there. We'll talk more about that on a Free For All Friday powered by TJ's Pharmacy and Wellness. We thank the good folks over at Box Eye Care who power us each and every day. I'm Martin Houston. That's Xavier Houston. That's Simeon Houston. This has been the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. Roll Tide, everybody. Remember this: trust in the Lord always, and not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Roll Tide.
There's a party going on right here. A dedication. Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.